Hi there, and welcome back to season 2 of Coffee and Comps. Coffee and Comps is going to follow the following format. Basically, there's going to be a new season for every year, and there's going to be 12 episodes in every year. So, season 2 is 2022. Episode 2 is going to revisit February sales. And without further ado, we'll jump right into it. There has been an incredible amount of activity. I think my last episode I mentioned that January's activity was down relative to December of 2021. I think we're back to being more active in February. Now, my expectation is that sales activity will probably fall off a little bit into the spring and summer months, simply because of the rise in interest rates. However, that might encourage more sellers to put their properties on the market. So interest rates alone or sales activity alone is not necessarily an indication of a healthy or unhealthy market. But it'll be interesting to see if we can follow some trends. A lot of sales that weren't included in the 9 that I have that we're going to go over today were sort of row home, office converted offices or converted row homes to offices, small single tenant buildings, mixed use buildings, a lot of those in downtown corridors or in areas. So, anyways, we'll start out with this 149 Wilson Street. This is in Middletown on a rate per unit basis. So this is 44 units. This translates to, and I'm doing the math right now, roughly $119,000 per unit. It looks like there are 42 bedroom units and 4 one bedroom units. I'm not entirely sure of the interior condition, but I'm assuming they're pretty nice. I'm not aware of a cap rate, but this is an interesting sale. So 44 units sold for a little bit over $5 million in Middletown. I'm not sure who the broker is either. The second one we're going to look at here is on Lucy Avenue. This is basically located right next to the Fuddruckers if you're going out towards Hershey. And this is a hotel, I'm wondering, we actually at Commonwealth Commercial Appraisal Group got contacted to do a tax appeal for this last year. And I'm not entirely sure, what the situation is here. There's a lot of competition in Hershey. I don't know if this is a distressed sale or what have you. However, $3.5 million. I don't know how many rooms there are. Shoot. We don't have how many rooms there are, but $3.5 million for a hotel in Hershey. I'm wondering, it lays out nicely for a conversion, actually, to a multi-tenant use, meaning an apartment use, I guess I could say. And, the analysis there, I think, would be, how much does it cost to simply add a kitchen or a kitchenette. But it would be interesting to see if something like that were to happen. I know that is a trend in a lot of urban areas, not so much Hershey necessarily, but due to Hershey Park being closed for a better part of 2020, a lot of these hotels and motels in Hershey struggled. So, I wouldn't be surprised if conversion was feasible because of how low the prices, had dropped. Now in 2022, I don't know if that same methodology or analysis would hold, but because prices, especially for limited service such as this, have recovered in a lot of places. Hershey Park is back and operational, but nevertheless, you get in at a certain price point, and conversion to an alternate use might be feasible. Now, at about $200 a square foot, probably not. They're probably going to continue to use this as a hotel, but wouldn't surprise me to see that case study out there. or examples out there, I should say. Sale 3 is an outback out parcel of what I believe is called the Union Deposit Shopping Center, or something to that effect. This is right next to what I believe is Texas Roadhouse over here, and Wendy's, I believe. This is a property that people have probably driven by many times. Sold for $3.69 million. A cap rate was not disclosed, but these properties are in high demand, especially with 1031 exchange buyers. And so, don't really have too much more to say about that one. Sale 4 is a self-storage facility, sold for $1.2 million. It's about 1,100 square feet, or 11,000 square feet. And this is incorrect, but I'm not entirely sure how many units there are. I think about 50 units. So that would come out to be about $24,000 per unit. That seems reasonable. This property was built in 2000. It's an incredibly hot asset class right now. I don't have a cap rate associated with this either, but continuing the trend of self-storage demand, not surprising to see another one go. Sale 5 is a Chipotle out parcel on Lingelstown Road. Sold for a little bit over $4 million. A cap rate was disclosed for this one at approximately 5.25. That translates to be an absolute net lease of $210,000 per year. It's a pretty pricey land lease. And so that's an interesting one. It sold for over nearly $2,000 per square foot. So let me see what that comes out to be. So 210 divided by 23. So the rental rate is about $90 per square foot of building area. I do believe this is a ground lease though, so it's a little bit misleading. Anyways, cap rate 5.25. Good sale there. Sale 6. Nothing too interesting about this one. 2629 Marketplace. This is in the Progress Avenue area of Susquehanna Township. Sold for $1.6 million. Comes out to be a little bit over $100 a square foot. It's a great building. I think I mentioned in a previous video how large floor plate office buildings are certainly less desirable now than they were prior to COVID. But these single tenant office buildings are still in incredibly high demand. And to a large extent, it's probably because a lot of people that were previously renting, for instance, are now buying. And so, you have that residual sort of lack of demand in the larger floor plate office buildings because people are, like I said, are buying and moving to single tenant locations and preferring ownership. So that's a trend that I've seen as well. The seventh one that we'll look at here is actually a land sale. It's along Lincoln Highway East. It's a multi-tenant parcel, or it's a multi-parcel sale. If we zoom in here, you can see that. Included a very small sliver right there, but bottom line is it was a little bit less, I should say, than 7 acres of land. It comes out to be about $340,000 per acre. The sale price does. These buildings, as far as I know, will likely be demolished. So this rate per building area is slightly misleading. That's not the motivation of the purchase. So there is a concept plan for this that shows a hotel and a few out parcels. It's interesting to note that East Lampeter Township has what I believe is 75% of the hotels in all of Lancaster County are located in East Lampeter Township. So there's quite a bit of of competition in this area in terms of hotels. So while I wouldn't be entirely surprised that a hotel would be developed here, I certainly wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't either. So anyways, we'll carry on here. Sale 8, and this is our final sale, is a former Wolf Furniture building in Springersbury Township. It's on Northern Way, Hodo Road. Sold for $5.25 million, a little bit over 60,000 square feet, and that translates to be $85 a square foot. Not entirely sure what's going to be put in here, but an interesting sale that some of you are probably familiar with. So with that, short and sweet, don't have a lot to say today, and I hope you guys are benefiting from these